Up next on Eco Company.
Life without electricity? In some parts of the world, people face that challenge every day.
You can kind of start from the ground up and really provide these people with fundamental access to energy and power.
Students working to bring sustainable power to African villages.
Then, a power station in the ocean? High school students floating a new idea for creating electricity.
Our device is an aquatic thermoelectric generator. What that really means is it's essentially floating on the water, similar to a boat or a buoy.
They're inventing a new way to harness the energy of the sun.
Plus, a surfer with a camera. He's shooting videos to bring about change.
You know, they're really fun, and I make a point to make the movies fun because I think that, you know, changing the world should be fun.
He's raising awareness about environmental issues.
And you'll see a student video from the Planet Connect Teen Video Contests.
All that and more on Eco Company.
Starting right now.
Thanks for tuning in to Eco Company. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jelena. In this country, we take electricity for granted.
I bet you can't imagine a room without an on and off switch.
But in many parts of the world, people are denied their simple essential services because they don't have the electricity they need.
And we found a group of students looking to change all that. Anna catches up with them to find out how.
Hi guys, I'm on the campus of the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. We're here to meet a group of students on a mission to bring renewable energy to developing countries. And it's a mission they want to share with the rest of the world.
It's a land that in some ways you could say time forgot, especially when it comes to energy. This is Mali, West Africa, a place where getting clean water is a daily challenge and dependable access to electricity isn't much easier.
We don't have the most reliable electricity here. Within the country, they cut electricity at least every 4 days for about 8 hours.
At this hospital in Kutiala, it could cause real problems, something University of Nebraska student Ashley Schmidt saw for herself during an internship.
They didn't have enough supplies in terms of technology, and part of the reason they didn't have enough technology is because they spend so much of their money on power. So 20% of their money goes to paying their electric bill every month, and so they can't buy more technology.
In one case, it meant not enough oxygen machines to go around, and a life and death decision.
What we had to do was kind of ask the mother to decide which of the babies that she wanted to live because they both needed oxygen. We only had one machine. I mean, it was a tough decision for her and for us to kind of watch her make, and it's just a decision that you really wish nobody would ever have to make.
So concerned, Schmidt switched her career course from medicine to engineering, and as a college junior, she founded the nonprofit World Energy Project.
I left knowing that I would never be able to come back to the States and work just a 9-to-5 job and kind of forget about what I'd seen over there.
And what is its core mission?
So the World Energy Project exists to promote sustainable development in impoverished communities around the world through renewable energy systems.
She's talking about solar power, and Schmidt has a posse of fellow students, including Michael Trogdon and Chris Landers, who are helping her make it happen.
You can kind of start from the ground up and really provide these people with fundamental access to energy and power.
Like, we've gone to Africa, we've seen the impact we've made in a few lives. And that alone has made it worth it.
So why go with solar? Well, for one, panels don't rely on a huge electric grid.
In Africa, they don't have an infrastructure with lots of energy networks. Energy access is very limited unless you're in a bigger city. Even then, it's really expensive, so they don't use a lot.
And let's not forget, solar energy is good for the planet.
Renewable energy is clean energy. Fossil fuel technologies are leading us down this path of environmental degradation. They're not sustainable in the long run. We're going to be running out of oil within the next 50 years.
Together, the World Energy Project crew plans fundraising events, finds solutions, and sees them through.
Our first project was to install and fix solar panel systems in and around Kuchala in Mali, West Africa. So we fixed a solar panel system at a school in Kuchala. and then installed like a solar-powered drip irrigation system there.
These are smaller, scalable systems that we can have on a community level.
Then there's the Karachi Children and Women's Hospital and its outlying clinics.
They didn't have any power, and so they couldn't refrigerate vaccines, they couldn't sterilize equipment, they couldn't do a number of things that you need power for. And so after we went there and we installed the solar panels and we left, all of a sudden they could do all these things. And so I really just got really passionate, really interested about how renewable energy systems can impact a community that has no power.
And that, they say, is the bigger picture here.
At the heart of really quality of life is energy, and access to energy in terms of healthcare, education, clean water, really just everything.
It changes everybody's way of life when you have lights to study under. To have access to modern day utilities really puts everyone on a level playing field.
So from the campus of the University of Nebraska to hundreds of miles away in West Africa, these young humanitarians, engineers, and environmentalists are changing lives, one solar panel at a time.
Knowing that your work is really impacting the world, you can't get enough money to replace that, and to really just find satisfaction in knowing that what you're doing is helping people, you know. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I'm really hopeful for the future of West Africa. I think they have a lot to offer the world.
Imagine a solar-powered generator floating in your swimming pool.
Up next, these teens have an invention that does just that.
The key idea of this project is how to generate electricity from the sun in an alternative way than photovoltaics, which are used right now.
Young inventors with a big idea.
Plus, surfing for change. A pro surfer getting attention with more than his board.
Hi, my name's Kyle Thiermann.
More Eco Company is next.
Welcome back to Eco Company. With homework, reports, tests, sports, music.
We have a lot of challenges in high school.
But designing and engineering a new kind of solar electric generator? That's not your average project.
That's exactly what these next teams have done.
They're young inventors with a big idea.
It's everywhere, from the ends of the earth to the equator and points in between. We're talking about water. Oceans make up 71% of the Earth's surface. And that's not including rivers, streams, and lakes. Combine it with the other thing we've got a lot of, sunlight, and a group of high school students say you've got the solution to a big problem.
The problem is simple. The problem is that fossil fuels are running out. Even if it's not a problem in 2 years, it's going to be a problem in 10 years, it's going to be a problem in 20 years. In 30 years, it's going to be a big problem.
Shantanu Joshi, Prag Batra, and Jay Reddy are members of the Harker School's Invention Team in San Jose, California. It's a group of budding engineers that believes there's a better way to get our energy, and it's with something they've invented.
Our device is an aquatic thermoelectric generator. What that really means is essentially floating on the water, similar to a boat or a buoy.
The device uses reflective panels to harness the sun's energy, but not like you might think. Team advisor Anthony Silk explains.
Like a solar power generator, this works in a similar fashion, except it doesn't get its energy from light, it gets its energy from heat.
The key idea of this project is how to generate electricity from the sun in an alternative way than photovoltaics, which are used right now.
Solar PV panels you see on rooftops convert sunlight into electricity, but that's not what's happening here.
This will be sitting on a body of water, which will be cool. And so the difference between the hot panel heated by the sun and the cold water, that difference is going to cause an electric current to be formed.
The heat gets channeled down through our device, through these aluminum squares, and then into one of these thermoelectric panels. As it goes through the panel, then it goes back out through an aluminum square and through the sheet metal on the bottom of our device and gets dissipated into the water.
As you can imagine, invention isn't easy, both from a design standpoint and a dollars and cents one too. But the team's getting some help in that department. It won a national grant from the Lemelson MIT program.
It was like, wow, can't believe we got this.
Joshua Schuler is the program's executive director.
The Lemelson MIT program is a center in MIT School of Engineering. And what we're all about is inspiring young people to lead inventive, creative lives.
The goal is to encourage students to come up with solutions to real-world problems, like polluting fossil fuels.
Humans are smart. We should be able to solve a problem like fossil fuels.
Each year, the program awards grants to 16 student teams in the U.S. MIT liaison Justin Lai guides them through the process.
They submit monthly progress reports. We have a monthly video conference to go over their progress. At any point in between those milestones, any sort of questions they have.
As of our visit, the Harker team is looking pretty good, well on its way to generating power.
As heat flows through this panel, it generates electricity. And that electricity then, as we wire it up many of these panels, can be used to charge a battery or to power a device, and so on.
And so on? Don't let that deceive you. These guys are thinking big.
We're looking at a way to make actually usable deployments that we can put in aquatic environments, say a swimming pool or maybe even larger scale, a lake or the ocean, to make equivalents of solar farms that we have on land on water.
It's a way to get power that's renewable, doesn't zap the Earth's resources, or pollute the air.
It's not like, say, burning fossil fuel where you're releasing carbon dioxide. The energy is already there for you to take. It's a matter of harnessing it and capturing it.
So for the Harker Invent team, it's a race to the finish line.
The most satisfying thing is when what we plan to do works, and when everything works out perfectly. That doesn't happen very often. When it does, it just feels great.
We have a lot of great students that are going to be great leaders and are going to make a difference in the world and really are going to provide us the energy that we need 20, 30 years from now.
It's really fulfilling to see a product of your imagination, and for our whole team, the product of our collective efforts now becoming a reality.
It's a reality not just of invention, but of the challenges our planet faces when it comes to energy. And it's a challenge these young people are ready to meet.
Coming up, a guy who's living his dreams and surfing the world's best waves.
And making a difference with his camera. More Eco Company is still to come. Up next, a guy who's living his dreams and surfing the world.
It's an environment he doesn't take for granted.
And he's fighting to protect it.
He's doing it with a camera and a website dedicated to change.
I had this dream last night where I came up here naked. It's so close.
Meet 21-year-old Kyle Thiermann.
I love to surf, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to travel around the world surfing.
He's a guy who spends a good chunk of his time out here. Thiermann's a pro surfer, filmmaker, and environmentalist based in Santa Cruz, California.
It's a really awesome place to grow up, very tight-knit community. The waves are really good.
But even he admits it can be a little on the chilly side.
It gets really cold in the winter, so you have to put your wetsuit on, the hood, and booties and everything.
Thiermann doesn't just surf his shores. He travels the globe in search of great waves, and he brings along more than his board. He also brings his camera.
Hi, my name's Kyle Thiermann.
Thiermann is behind Surfing for Change. It's a video series he created to raise awareness about ocean-related environmental issues.
They're really fun, and I make a point to make the movies fun because I think that, changing the world should be fun.
He hits up surf spots from Hawaii to Chile to South Africa and points in between. And wherever he goes, when he sees an environmental story, he tells it.
Last year, I followed a plastic bag from my hometown of Santa Cruz to the North Shore of Oahu. Up until recently, when I'd go skating, I'd bring a plastic bottle of water with me. When I'd come in from surfing and grab a burrito, I'd take it out in a plastic bag. But then something changed. I took an incredible trip to the North Shore of Oahu. Using a plastic bag. When you go to the store and use a plastic bag, it's for a while, I didn't even think about that. I didn't think that that bag literally never goes away, and that lots of times it blows out to sea and ocean currents will wash it up on a beach in Hawaii, or a sea turtle will eat it. I'm gonna start bringing my own bottle to the skate park, and next time I get a burrito, I'm bringing my own bag.
Thiermann's also spotlighting coastal communities threatened by fossil fuel producing plants, like this fishing town in Chile.
I'm here in Jeffreys Bay, South Africa, where I'm standing right in front of the best point break in the world.
Jeffreys Bay, South Africa is also the center of an energy debate.
About 40 kilometers away from here, they're proposing the largest nuclear power plant. Nuclear. The kind of stories that I look for when I travel are an issue that is directly affecting a community in another country that has waves.
So thanks to Thiermann's films, we're getting an oceanfront view of issues threatening marine communities. What now? Thiermann says it's about small steps, not being a hardcore activist.
That's what the Surfing for Change series is not. It's showing you that you don't need to be a full-time activist to be a part of the solution.
Simple steps to take: bring your own bag to the store to reduce plastic pollution. Buy locally to support local economies. Another biggie, use your keyboard.
If you're a teen of today, you have a huge amount of power to create change through social networking. Like updating your status on Facebook to something that you actually care about, an issue that you care about. You're getting this message out to hundreds and thousands of people potentially, and that's how change happens.
So from protecting stunning coastlines, marine life, and communities who depend on them to survive, Thiermann hopes his movies inspire others to take action. No surfboard required.
Well, I think that people have a lot more power than they think they do. Just on a simple, everyday decisions that you make are affecting people all over the world, because we live in such a globalized community that your daily action has a ripple effect out. So if you can understand that a few of these simple decisions that you might not even think about have a big impact, and that by simply shifting one or two of them, you can really help out in a big way.
And for Thiermann, doing his part is all in a day's surf. Coming up, STEM Vision.
STEM Vision?
Yeah, it's a student film from the Planet Connect video contest.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. Don't go anywhere. More Eco Company is next.
We love featuring videos from young filmmakers.
And we're particularly excited about the one you're about to see.
It took home second place in the recent Planet Connect Teen Video Contest.
A pair of mysterious sunglasses help Alex Howard from St. Paul, Minnesota, see a little differently in STEM Vision.
Hi, I'm Alex. I've lived in St. Paul, Minnesota my whole life. After living in a city for so long, you really start to wonder how it's impacting the environment and how you can help it go green. But to be honest, I never really knew what to do. That is, until a strange package showed up on my counter. Out of curiosity, I opened it. All I found was a boring pair of sunglasses called STEM Vision. But as I went back to what I was doing, I remembered STEM from what I had learned in class that day. It was short for how science, technology, engineering, and mathematics could help the city go green. I had to try them on. Suddenly, everything came to me. I looked down at the bottle in my hand and recoiled at the sight. I had to replace it. Unreusable plastics fill up 8% of the volume of the average landfill and require huge amounts of energy and raw material to produce. I ran outside to do my second idea. Recycle litter, especially aluminum cans. The chemistry behind this process involves different stages of heating and requires 95% less energy than from aluminum ore. Not only will it create a healthier environment, but it will stimulate the economy. My final idea was to purchase vehicles engineered with hybrid engines as an alternative to the common choice of a low-efficiency vehicle. This will improve air quality as well as reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and in turn maintain a high quality of life. And then it hit me. These glasses weren't doing anything special for me. You don't need any fancy equipment to apply STEM and get your city on track to going green. All you need is a little inspiration.
You could be a part of Eco Company too.
Create your own video.
Shoot a story about being green.
Or somebody doing something unique to help save the planet.
Add some music and have some fun.
Then upload your video at eco-company.tv. So join the company, Eco Company.
And be a part of the solution.
Well, that wraps it up for us this week on Eco Company. We hope we helped you see a little differently.
To get segments on the show, head to our website at eco-company.tv.
And remember, you too can be a part of the solution.
We'll see you back here next time
on Eco Company.